When you're a maker and you're deciding where you want to make that move from, let's say, farmer's market into retail, that is the single biggest decision you're going to make at the very beginning of creating your brand and your company. And it's important to go to the different retailers and kind of study what their philosophy is, because that's where it's really going to start. We're looking at what makes that product stand out within the category. We're looking at the product itself. We're tasting the product, determining if the vendor is working with a specific set of attribute ingredients. Are they all organic, gluten-free? I always encourage makers, start small. Start with one of the regional players, Market of Choice, New Seasons, Green Zebra. If you decide to go and commit to all 20 or 30 stores at a chain, you're really going to struggle. You need to think about distribution path. You need to think about sampling. You need to think about the cost of manufacturing and all of your cost inputs and things like that. So I encourage people, go to a chain that's going to help nurture you and who's going to also give you the time and space to grow and to fail and to restart sometimes, because that's going to happen. And that's okay for the regional retailers, but the larger retailers aren't going to have that tolerance, and then you're going to get discontinued off the shelf. I think on the topic of hitting certain sell prices to a retail store, there is the camp of somebody who really knows their business, they really understand manufacturing, and they kind of have a retail in mind, and they work backwards. And then the other camp is the people who are super passionate, and they have a product idea, and they come to the retailer, and they know that they just want to be at this certain retail price. Ultimately, it just depends on how good is the product, is your packaging calling to the consumer, incentivizing purchase through promotion or demoing, and that's going to ultimately affect your velocity, right? If you really want to be taken seriously by a buyer, you want to have a solid business plan, and you want to be ready to go to market. That's when you are talking to a buyer. If you're not at that stage, you should vet your idea through other peer groups or other people first. One thing that I would encourage any new maker to do is really get engaged with the other members of this robust regional food economy that we have here in Oregon, because this is something that, having worked around the country, doesn't exist outside Oregon. You have a really great group of maker manufacturers that are willing to share information with each other and collaborate. There's all kinds of product incubators in Oregon that you can work with that have contacts with buyers, but more importantly, have resources. So there are great groups to vet your packaging, to vet your cost modeling, can point you in the direction of shelf life testing, can put you in touch with the Food Innovation Center. Those are really great resources that, for the food and bev community here, don't exist elsewhere. So it's really a great way to tap into.